Welcome to another mobile edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys, I'm a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. If you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Blondie, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Guys, today I want to talk to you about Marcus Spanevelo. This is the Cassie Carli perpetrator who stands accused, not yet, but we all know it's coming down the pike of the nefarious behavior and what happened and what led up to Cassie Carli's demise. Marcus Spanevelo has been outside custody and over Easter weekend. In the light of what he faces, he was extradited. He tried to play that stupid game. But before we get into it, before we get into what we want to talk about today, which is the bail that was offered to Marcus Spanevelo, which I don't know about you guys, but it's an outrage. But before we get into it, I want to say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and all the folks who positively engage in all of these live streams. You guys are what makes this a great place, and I can't say enough good about each and every one of you. And I want to say thank you to everybody who watches the replays, who leaves comments down below, and everybody who positively engages in this community. You are definitely what makes this a great place, and I can't say enough good about you guys. So Marcus Spanevelo was extradited. He tried to fight his extradition, as we saw, in a typical narcissistic fashion, right? He tried to fight the extradition. He said that he was not going to waive his extradition. He did eventually waive his extradition and he was brought to Santa Rosa County. He stands eventually to be accused of the murder of Cassie Carli, the mom of one sailor, Carli, 37 years young. He ended her life on a custody exchange, which again is just a very, very sad situation for all of us to hear and deal with. But at the end of the day, when you see somebody like this get a $21,000 bail bond offering, it freaks you out, right? I don't know if anybody here, by a show of hands, how many of us here were outraged by that? I don't know. There was a time when someone who was the main suspect in a murder, the judges back in the day would never even let them out. They would just not even get bail or bond. So here, let me just quickly, I forgot to share it, so let me just do this really quick. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. I just got to do this quick, and I usually do it before I go live. So I forgot to do it. This is how dedicated I am. I'm sending out notifications, and I only just have to do it in 2 places. So give me 2 seconds. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Again, my day is crazy. I was rushing around like a madman here to run to go to the post office and get a couple things done. All right, so yeah, Lynn Harvey says it's an insult to the family. Okay, but let me just explain something to you. All right, Marcus Spanevelo is the only named suspect in the death and disappearance of Cassie Carli. He appeared in the Santa Rosa County Court on Tuesday, which is just yesterday, on my birthday, April 19th. He appeared in court on, it was his first appearance. He was charged with 3 counts. One, the judge set his bond, first of all, but he was charged with 3 counts, 3 crimes: providing false information to law enforcement, tampering with evidence, and obstructing justice. These are kind of all one and the same. But what I want to really say to you is what's important here is that we all know that we are waiting for, we're waiting for the autopsy results to come back on Cassie Carli. They're waiting for the toxicology reports and things of that nature. And being that they're waiting for that, if you guys haven't noticed, a hold was placed on him by the Alabama authorities. It was a bullcrap hold for speeding, like a speeding and a no-show for speeding, right? But that is a strategy and a tactic by the law enforcement authorities that are working all together to bring justice for Cassie Carli. That is a tactic because he cannot be released. He is held on for, it's called for other authority. It's an FOA arrest. So that's the reason I put the thumbnail of Marcus Spanevelo arrested. The Florida authorities in Santa Rosa, they have that bail and that bond on him, right? But he can't bond out if he has a hold by another authority, and that gives him 30-day reprieve. That means for 30 days, he cannot be bailed or bonded out because there's another hold on him. Is everybody following me what I'm saying? So he cannot go anywhere, even if somebody was to come to the courthouse and post that bond for him. So let me reassure everybody, because of that, and people will say to themselves, wait a minute, why are they offering him bond, $21,000 bond? They know that he cannot get out. He can't, if he comes up with that bond, he will not be set free because of the Alabama hold. Okay, and I'm hoping that everybody understands. I'm trying to say it in layman's terms. I'm not trying to give you police jargon and law and criminal justice jargon. I'm trying to give it to you straight out. So the what they're doing is effectively holding him and handcuffing him. Hold on, let me reach for the prop. They are handcuffing him in Santa Rosa County by placing the hold by Alabama with the bullcrap fail to appear for speeding, because you can't let somebody out who has an FOA, a hold for another authority. So when that authority comes and gets him, he will be rearrested in Alabama for the Alabama authority, and it'll be another arrest, because I myself have made many FOA arrests. So Florida has to fingerprint and handcuff him and say in their system right now that we are holding Spanevelo for the Alabama authorities. So that's what's happening right now in this case. 1970s Tiger, thank you so much for joining. Let me just highlight a couple of these comments quickly. Moonlight View, good to see you. Tennessee Girl, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining. Who else is here? Mel, good to see you. Mel Stiller, thank you. Karen Barton, as always, love and respect. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, Black Rose, thank you for sharing those links. Thank you so much for everyone who sent in birthday wishes to me. That was a really, for me, a tearjerker yesterday. I'm glad I wasn't on the screen, because I started getting a little puffy-eyed when you guys sent in the orchestrated by Alicia B and Josh are behind the scenes. When you guys sent in those messages and all of the private messages that I got, you guys are just so unbelievable, and I thank you for it. I really do. I thank you guys tremendously. But again, Marcus Spanevelo is not going anywhere. Breaking news, Marcus Spanevelo is not going to get out on any type of bail or bond. It's not happening. Not today, not tomorrow, not any day. He's being held for another authority. And they have that 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. And within that 30 days time, I'm pretty clear and confident. I'm pretty sure that the autopsy results will be back, and we will have upgraded and new charges on Marcus Spanevelo. Good to see you, Rocky. How are you? My good friend Rocky Pastorino is here. Fine friend, thank you so much for joining. Greatly appreciated. Integrity says, I hope so. Guess what? You could quote me on this, and I have a lot of experience when it comes to this kind of stuff. I've dealt with a lot of bad guys in my career, and this is what I did for a long time in the New York City Police Department. I worked in the Fugitive Apprehension Squad, enforcement squad, and look who is here. Speaking of wizards, it's Ed Wallace. Ed, how are you, brother?
Good afternoon, Ron. How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to rock and roll. So as you heard what we're speaking about here, Marcus Spanevelo, a lot of people yesterday were up in arms because Tuesday he was brought before a judge in Santa Rosa County, and the judge set his bond at $21,000. What do you got? Is that vodka in that drink?
Tito's.
Nice. So the judge set the bond at 21,000. That set off a firestorm of inquiries to DutyRon.com, yourself, myself. I spare you a lot of the private messages and emails that come into the website. I kind of field them myself. But last night was my birthday, so I didn't look at anything. And when I opened them up this morning, it was a stack this high of questions about Marcus Spanevelo getting out. So, what's your thoughts on that? The 21,000. Have you heard what I was saying?
No, I didn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, so essentially, I said, it's part of this. He was charged with, as we spoke about in the past, tampering with evidence, providing false information to law enforcement, and obstructing justice. These are kind of charges that are all like lumped together, and it goes hand in hand. Those charges are not major charges, and that's why the $21,000 bond. It's in the light of bail reform and all of this criminal justice reform. We wouldn't see this 10 years ago. And I know you and I, we speak about this all the time. 10 years ago, this guy would not have been afforded any bail. He would be remanded without bail. But due to the fact of a lot of things that have happened in the last 5 years, give or take, the things have changed, not just in Florida, it's changed nationwide. So,
I didn't expect this in Florida, honestly. I didn't think that they had this bail reform issues in Florida. I didn't think the legislature had passed any of those changes with, going from criminal justice to social justice, which isn't justice at all. So I was shocked initially by the low bail, and which he could easily have made. But the point is, yes, he can make that bail. But since there's that summons in Alabama that he did not answer to, he's on hold. He's not getting out. And they have 30 days to make that transfer to Alabama. Now, it's my guess that we will see the toxicology report on the medical examiner's office in Alabama. And then we'll have a definitive direction as to where we're going in terms of cause of death and whether this is a homicide, cause and manner, and this is a homicide. And if it is a homicide, do they have enough evidence to indict him in either Alabama or Florida? Right. And so right now he's on ice for 30 days. He's not getting out.
It's funny, Ed, that you and I asked you specifically, like, I didn't ask you to test you, but I asked you, did you hear what I was talking about? And you said right away, hands down, no. But if people go back, and whoever was here from the beginning, by a show of hands, let me know who knows exactly what I'm getting at right now. I basically said exactly what you just said before you came on. So that's what,
great minds think alike.
Correct. So I think that was a very good show to the folks, how on the same page we are, and how you didn't even hear what I said to the audience. You had no idea what I said, as a matter of fact. But what you just said and what I said is just exactly the same thing.
No, so I was too busy running around, because that last minute notification you gave me. I had to set up my parents in the other room so they could watch TV and not be in my studio.
I'm going to have to send a check to your parents at the end of the month for cutting into their time with their son. But yeah, we're going to make this quick. It's going to be another 15 minutes. But again, like I said, I want folks to understand. Gail, good to see you, Gail. Matty Boy Sully is here. I want all the folks to know that, listen, for the most part, Ed, you and I were surprised on the Diamond Alvarez case in Texas, because Texas, when you think of the state of Texas in the past, because now we can't think the same way, we used to think if you commit a crime in Texas, especially a homicide, if you commit a murder in Texas, you're fried. That was the thing, right? But Diamond Alvarez is perp. the perpetrator who shot her 22 times in the back and spit on the ground where her body laid was released on $250,000 bond. That to me is just mind blowing, and that's telling me that our country is going to the pot, unfortunately.
So when you think of Texas, if you look at the overall picture, it's a very conservative state. But cities like Houston, Austin, Dallas are very liberal, and so they have they're democratically controlled, and San Antonio as well. They're democratically controlled, and they have a lot of the reforms that have been pushed for social justice. So that's why you see those things. But that guy's back in, right? He violated.
Yeah, he's back in. He's
Yeah.
back in. But the fact that he was out for over 2 months is despicable. I mean, he was out.
Did you see the recent report on what the effect has been of the defund the police and bail reform and also these social justice prosecutors? What has been their effect on crime over the last 2 years? There have been cases. There's been a report that was been published in Fox News and other news organizations. A study has been done on this, and the homicide rates and the overall rate of crime in the minority neighborhoods have exponentially skyrocketed. And so it's had the reverse effect of what these people who are pushing these agendas were claiming were going to happen. Now, unfortunately, these people who push these agendas never want to admit their mistakes and don't typically take corrective actions to reverse what they've done after seeing the statistics that are saying, hey, it's having the reverse effect of what you said it was going to have. And now you have a 35% spike in crimes in the minority neighborhoods who you said this was going to help. And in fact, it's hurting them.
And because it directly doesn't affect them, because where they're living and the way they're living and with protection and things of that nature, it doesn't have any effect on them. And they really don't care. And that's the sad part, is that people who need the police the most, the communities that have the highest crime rate before all of these changes put in place, that's where the criminals are going to. They're going to work. They're going to town. They're having a field day. And who pays the price? The general public. So it's disgusting and despicable. And, we could go on about this all day long. But the bottom line is that Marcus Spanevelo is not going to be getting out on that $21,000 bond. And I believe the state of Texas has that 10% rule. So 10% of $21,000 is not a lot of money.
You mean Florida?
Right? Florida, thank you.
Yeah.
So, again, everybody that was up in arms, and even listen, Cassie Carli's sister Ray is always in contact with me. She was even a little freaked out by it, but when it was explained, and when I kind of got off the phone with her and explained it to her, I think cooler heads prevailed, and she felt a lot better about it. The partners in law enforcement and the criminal justice system, we try to work together when we can, right? And in this case, I believe the state of Alabama, the state of Tennessee, state of Florida are all working in conjunction with each other to try to ensure that justice is going to be served. Now, we have our doubts, and there's always some type of doubt in the back of our minds, because we look at what just happened over in Colorado with Suzanne Morphew and Barry Morphew. He's a free man. He walked out of court with the smirk on his face. I don't know if anybody saw Barry Morphew walk out with his daughters and his lawyer. It was, I'm telling you, man, my stomach turned when I saw that. But we know that there's going to be a second chance at that. But again, we're talking about human beings here. Law enforcement and the criminal justice system is not a well-oiled machine. It is on most counts, but sometimes things happen and they get it wrong. The district attorney there had a lot of stutter steps and a lot of things and missteps, or whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, I feel confident in this Spanevelo case. I feel that the Florida authorities, working in conjunction with the other two states, I think we're going to get this one right, and justice will be served, not only just for the Cassie Carli, but for her daughter and the extended family and everybody who's affected in that community. What's your thoughts on that, Ed?
I agree 100%. There seems the the synergistic effect of these three states working together and coordinating very well. I think they're constantly on the phone with each other, going over various aspects of the case and what each other is uncovering. And we're going to get justice in this case. And I just wanted to thank Healing Vibrations. She sent me a Gaelic message. I appreciate that very much. You put a smile on my face this morning. Thank you. Now, getting back to the prosecutor in Colorado, all I can say to them is, you know, they're lucky. They got a reset button here, and stay off the media, stay off social media about the case. Dot your I, cross your T's. Let's get the forensic evidence. Let's dig up that location and find her and get the evidence we need to go to court.
Amen. Amen, brother. Yeah, I mean, again, with having that second chance at it, if this case, just for those of you who are not really privy to this or don't have a good understanding of it, if that district attorney would have allowed that case to proceed and the jury was selected and the trial commenced, there's no do-overs. There's no, the double jeopardy comes into play, and if that was to happen, that would have been a major travesty of justice. So I commend Linda Stanley for not trying to be the bigger person, trying to stick her chest out and say, no, we got this. She realized that she didn't have it. And again, the burden of proof is on the state. The state
Absolutely.
has to prove their case. And they knew going into this, in the beginning, they felt going into it that they could prove their case, because I could have played her press conference when they arrested Barry Morphew. I just didn't want to go there, and I didn't want to have, a circus atmosphere. So I yielded on the, on showing that, because I didn't want to have it get to that point. But the bottom line is we all saw it. We all saw how confident she was and how she was so sure that she had everything all together. But it quickly fell apart with her missing dates and missing deadlines to get evidence and all of her discovery to the defense. And there was just it was a snowball effect. But the bottom line is the burden of proof is on the state, on the district attorney, and they were not ready to do it. And, I'm thankful that they pulled the plug and did what they did. This way it gives another chance for them to have another crack at it. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to everybody again for the private messages, the text messages, the Instagram, the Facebook, Twitter. All of my social media was lit up yesterday with nothing but love and good words for you guys. And what I really loved about the love and good words and the birthday wishes is that you kind of, and I got to say, I got to give it to you guys. You kind of, you were so great. You included Ed in all of those accolades. Ed, I know you saw it. It was wishing me a happy birthday, and then the next sentence it was like, you and Ed are doing a great job. It was a double whammy, and I thought I got to say thank you to you guys, because you guys are tremendous, great people, and I can't say enough good about you guys.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate our family. They're great people. I'm so happy to be a part of this family. Thank you, Ron, for letting me into your family and making me a part of this. And thank Timmy Acosta for introducing me to you and to this family. I really do enjoy you all, and I love your curiosity. I love your questions. I like your input on what we're talking about. It's a fabulous family.
Yeah, I mean, it's so engaging, and so you can see that they're paying attention to what we're saying, Ed, just based on the comments that they make. The comment section down below, and I want to just say this to the replay viewers, and thank you to the replay viewers. We love you guys. We love the live viewers. We love everybody in between. But when you leave the comments, I'm encouraging you guys all to leave comments down below. It serves quite a bit of different purposes. Number one, it shows that you guys are interested in what we're talking about, first and foremost. Number two, it goes towards engagement on this channel. So if we have a certain amount of engagement, YouTube sees that and they say, hey, this is a good source of information. Let's get that out there. So you guys are helping us twofold. Number one, by telling us that you are listening and that you're interested. And number two, you're helping the channel by making those comments. So continue to make the comments, we'll continue to answer them, as many as we can. You know, Ed and I are not cyborgs. We're just regular people. So if we don't get to some of the comments, please forgive us. We'll get you the next time. We promise. I answer some comments that are a month old sometimes when I miss it. If I have like rare moments of, you know, downtime, I go back and I look at some of the comments from a month ago. And people know that this is true because I've answered people and they're like, "Oh, I thought I was never going to get an answer from you. Thank you." Like that's an old comment. But if it's,
you know, this does consume a lot of our time. I mean, going back in there and looking at all of the messages and comments and text, you know, in between work and all the other things, research I'm doing and writings that I'm doing and curriculum development and so forth. And here's another thing, folks, I want to thank you. You know, you're always giving me kudos and praises about, you know, my teaching ability. But any good teacher also learns from their students. So every day is a learning day. I'm learning things from you. You're learning things from me. Sometimes I see things that you post and I take interest in a lot of what you say, and I do a little research, and I learn new things every day just from you. So you all are teaching me as well. And like you said, every day should be a learning day. Every day people should strive to learn something new or do something new, and never stay sedimentary. Always be moving forward in a direction.
Very well said, Ed. And you know what? Listen, there's a lot of YouTube content creators that are out there. You know, some just don't pay attention to their comments, and it's probably for good reason. They probably just don't have the time to do it. But I am, you know, and Ed and I kind of think a lot alike. I am going to be engaged. If you guys take the time out to watch our videos, and you take the time out to leave a comment, I'm going to do the best that I can. Now, again, like I said, we aren't machines, so it's not like we could get to every single comment, but we get to a very high percentage of the comments. And for me, it's out of respect for you leaving a comment for me. And I answer them all, as many as I can get to. But you know, you may not get the other engagement like that from some of the, you know, larger channels. And people say to me, well, when you're over 100,000 subscribers, how can you even answer people? How are you even able to do it? I do it in small little increments. I get 15 minutes here, I get 10 minutes there, right? And that's how we bang it out, Ed.
It's a matter of respect for you all. I go to other YouTube channels. I see what happens in their YouTube comments section. They never answer back. Okay. Even some of the fan favorites, like musical groups that, you know, the musicians in these groups, they have these YouTube channels, but they never answer their fans back. You know, the fans make all these lovely comments, but they never answer back. Okay. And that's a shame. But, you know, here's another thing I wanted to put out. You know, Ron and I, as he said, we're just men. We're just humans. We don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. It's impossible for one person to know everything about everything. And that's why I said we have to keep striving to learn. But, you know, there are people who put themselves out as know-it-alls. And you know what I do? I label those people stay away from, SAF, stay away from, because it's the know-it-alls that'll get you killed. It's the know-it-alls that'll send you down rabbit holes. It's the know-it-alls that will give you bad information. And the next thing you know, you're in some kind of trouble. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, anytime your gut is telling you you're dealing with a know-it-all, disregard that person. Move on to somebody else that you can trust.
Yeah, bingo. I agree 100%. Even on the job, when we used to work there, we had those know-it-alls. You remember this, Ed? And you know, I made that mistake in the beginning of listening to some of the know-it-alls, and it got me in some trouble. You know what I mean? Not trouble with the job, but it just, you know, just backfired on me. So again, you know, you got to pick and choose your battles, and you got to think about, you know, the streets that you want to walk down, and the folks who you want. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she lived to 1 month shy of 101 years old. She used to say to me until she was blue in the face, "You're judged by the company you keep. You're judged by the company you keep." And my grandmother was so right, you know. And I used to go, Grandma, she'd go, this one's no good, that one's no good. You're judged by the company you keep. And I still hear it to this day in my 58th, going into my 59th year. So again,
hey, I say it to my children growing up, and they're 30 and 25.
Yeah, I do the same thing, Ed. Before I forget, Alicia B, congratulations on becoming a grandma ×2. Two beautiful babies were born on my birthday. Alicia B, congratulations. What a beautiful bundle of joy those two babies are. And I thank you for sharing your beautiful new packages of love that your family has been graced with. So I want to say blessings, strength, prayers, positive vibes to your daughter and you know, for her recovery, to the new mom, and congratulations on becoming a grandma. So ×2. You got your hands full, lady.
Ditto.
Yeah. There you go. Bingo. So somebody said that they had a question. So let's go to the audience and let's pool the chat really quick. By a show of hands, who understands everything that we just went over as far as the Marcus Spanevelo bond of $21,000, 10% in the state of Florida? He will not be getting out. Just let me see in the chat that you guys know and understand what we just spoke about in the previous 30 minutes. Just by a show of hands, you can just put a hand up. Let me see it in the chat. Everybody on board? Yes, Jamie's here. Brenda, thank you. Gerda from South Africa, great to see you. Rocky, everybody's showing a hands up. All right, good. The know-it-alls train the brain to be closed-minded. Wow, Girl Friday, that was a good comment. I don't know how old that one was. That was new. Look at that one, Ed. That's a great comment.
I like it.
Girl Friday gets the comment of the live stream award, the best comment of the live stream award. But also another creator that was on said, you know, it's important to engage with your audience. And without, I always say this, without the audience, without our friends, without our family here, we have nothing. So you and I could light up a live stream, right? We could light up a live stream and say, nobody shows up. It'll just be me and you talking. So that's what's important about having everybody here. Lauren Noah says, I just arrived. I'll have to rewind to catch the last 30 minutes. Yeah, Ed and I summed it up, and we actually told you the same thing twice. Once with me alone, and then when Ed joined, he said exactly the same thing that I said. Let me see for this question that was going to be asked. Did I miss it? Jeeps. Let's see. All right. If you have the question, put it up and I'll catch it here in the chat. But we're going to close in about not even 5 minutes. We're going to close it up. I'm so turned off when there's no engagement with the followers. Princess Mitch, you know, again, you've been around here for 3 years and you know what it's about on Crime Time with DutyRon. You know what it's about in the beginning, in the middle, and here towards where we are current day. Nothing's changed. Healing vibrations, here it is. So she says, DutyRon and Ed, I feel that the case needs reopening, re-family, DVSA. Can I push a detective Garda to reopen an issue from 1994?
She's talking about your personal issue. Is
Yes.
that correct? Healing
Yes.
vibrations. Well, I have some friends in the Garda. If you think that's appropriate, then I can give you contact information, and I'll give it to Ron, and you know, you can contact Ron, and he can give it to you. I trained a few people in the Garda here in the United States when they were on assignment here in New York, getting their advanced degrees in forensics from John Jay University, John Jay College.
So send me a message on DutyRon.com, and I will get that information that Ed is talking about to you. Ed GSD says, some people I don't see. I guess I'm blocked or something. I guess you're wrong. You are not blocked.
Oh, getting back to Ireland. Just, you know, I told you I got a new pup on the way, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it's a female. And so we came to a decision on the name. And the name is Irish for friend, and it's Cara, C-A-R-A.
C-A-R-A. I love it.
Cara.
Irish for friend. Nice.
Irish for friend.
That's Irish for friend. Cara, I love it. I can't wait to give that dog a couple of hugs and kisses when we get to see him. Her.
Yes. Her.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
She's getting her final shots. She's getting her final shots, and then we get her chipped, and then we'll get her in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Can't wait to see. Hopefully, we'll get a preview of her on one of our live streams, one of the live streams. You know, in the future, you can show her off to the Crime Time with DutyRon family. I know everybody will love it. All right, guys. So a lot of love and respect from my house to yours, and Ed's as well. Ed, thank you for coming, Johnny. You know, I did this Johnny come lately quickly. I sent you the quick. Listen, I don't like to go live without saying to Ed I'm going live, but sometimes I feel like I got to give this guy a break. I can't. We don't want to wear out our welcome with Ed Wallace. So I was going to do this solo, and then I said, you know what? Maybe he might want to come. So I'm going to give him the opportunity or the option. But the option was like 30 seconds. So I apologize for that, Ed.
Okay, so the question there was, what kind of pup is it? And it's a fox red Labrador Retriever.
Yeah, and everybody would love to see it. As you could see, Brenda Pendergrass. Yes, Ed, we'd love to see her. So now you got no choice. You got to show her on a live stream.
I will. As soon as I have her, I'll bring her on the show.
There you go. Bingo. Fiberfloozy's Craft is here, and she was one of the great ones that made a birthday message to me. Thank you, Jill, for everything you do. You got such a beautiful, great community. Ed GSD says, I have a German Shepherd as a support dog. Awesome. Awesome, Ed. I love it. All right, guys.
Ed, okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, where Donna's asking where I'm at. Actually, I'm at my house in the Jersey Shore, and I'll be in Boston next week.
Nice. Somebody asked me in the comment section if you were in a cruise ship, or you know, like they thought you were up high looking down at a dock.
No, that's a photograph on the second-story deck of my house down to my backyard and dock.
Nice, nice. All right, good. Joey Brooklyn has just joined. Hi, Joey Brooklyn. Good to see you, brother. Mary Glick is here. Great team, says Mary Glick. Ed and Ron, great team. Thank you. Healing Vibration, says Ron, sending you hugs. Thank you. I always love to accept hugs. Always a thumbs up from TubTub883. I love that screen name. Thank you, TubTub from the UK. Lake Lizard, always great to see Lake Lizard. I love labs, always loves the labs. She loves dogs.
Exactly.
Caplocks is on. Boston. I live in Boston. Caplocks. Oh my God. Boston. Okay. I live in. So what are you saying, Caplocks? Are you going to buy Ed lunch?
I'm shipping up to Boston.
There you go. All right, this is great. Appreciate everybody engaging in the chat. Much love and respect. Again, Marcus Spanevelo, he is not seeing the light of day. They got a 30-day reprieve, and within that 30-day time frame, I'm just trying to condense it. Hopefully the autopsy, the tox comes back. Oh, by the way, Barbara Butcher has committed to us to come live with us, Ed. So I want to try to narrow her down for tomorrow night. To do a live stream for her to explain why a autopsy results will take so long. You and I know the answers to this, Ed, but are you available tomorrow night for a live stream with the illustrious Barbara Butcher?
I'm as I told you, I'm off all week, no work. I'm here with my parents at my Jersey house, relaxing, and I am available.
So that is a long yes that you just told me.
Yes, and if Healing Vibrations, you can see my Irish flag flying in the background proudly next to my Scottish flag. Okay, and then on the other side you can see my Italian flag and my LSU flag and my Don't Fret on Me flag, as well as the NYPD flag, the American flag, and the blue line flag.
He's got them all. He's representing. All right, guys. DutyRon, can you please ask Ed to wave the Irish flag? Oh boy.
It's blowing in the wind right behind me.
It's blowing in the breeze. You guys can see it. All right, guys. A lot of love and respect from DutyRon and Ed Wallace. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, and all victims of crime across the globe and their families. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for the replay viewers. Thank you for you being you. This Crime Time with DutyRon community is one of the best, and I thank you, and Ed and I are grateful. We'll see you soon. Peace, guys.
Stay safe, folks.
Take care.